Hey everybody, Lee from PcjunkieMods here. So today we're going to go over my desk, the long-awaited revision 2 of my desk, I guess you could say. I have a desk at home right now. We're going to be swapping it out for the new one, which has newer hardware, latest, greatest, whatever. And I figured I better get it done before it's no longer latest, greatest hardware anymore. So, but this video, I'm gonna do some modifications, and we're gonna get that on video instead of it just being a montage of the PC getting thrown or the desk getting thrown together. So kind of going back to the old way where you saw me cut and grind, but this one we're actually only going to be drilling a bunch of holes. So some for the reservoir, some for the pump, stuff like that. Simple stuff. So I'll show you how to kind of measure, mock up, and tape off your area. So the proper way to do that stuff. So that way you get everything in the right spot and you get all the holes are straight instead of crooked or whatever. Because I usually eyeball everything, and so I don't want to do that on this. But I'm going to be looking for some user input. So I'm hoping you guys will be able to, guys and girls will be able to help me figure out what to do here. On the right hand side of the desk, I don't really have a lot of stuff to go in there. I'm not sure what I want to do. So I'm kind of looking for input. I'm hoping that somebody will give me some good input and I could use that. Right now, all I have over there is pretty much 2 pumps. So it's gonna be kind of empty over there. As in my last desk, I had the main gaming PC on the left side, and then I had my media server on the right hand side. Well, I'm taking the media server, it's gonna go into a different case, so it'll be a standalone PC basically. So I'm gonna, we'll do that build some other time. I'll show you what's going in there so that way you guys can see. Because I'll be changing the board, the CPU, just a few minor things. Instead of having the ITX, which it only had one PCIe slot, I want to actually have some options in case I want to add more RAID cards or maybe a video card or who knows, whatever. Not that it needs a video card, but you know. So let's just get into what parts are going in here, and we'll go from there. Alright, so like I was saying, as far as the right hand side, I'm not too sure what to do over there. I do know that I'll be putting like the ROG front base in there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use that because it's been sitting around for a while and it'll go good with the Rampage board that I have here. As far as water cooling goes, most of the water cooling is EK stuff. The blocks are EK, the pump, the reservoirs, except for my custom stainless steel reservoir that I got from E22 a while back. And then we also have some Hardware Labs Black Ice Nemesis GTS 480s that are going to be going in the back. So as far as fittings, I'm not sure yet. And tubing, I'm still on the fence. That's hopefully user input there. Whether to go with clear tubing, could be PETG, acrylic, or even glass, or go with a chrome-based style hard tube. So I'm kind of trying to figure that out, because if I go with chrome tubing throughout, then it's going to be pretty much, you're only going to see the liquid here and in the blocks, where I want to have a little bit of color over on the right side, some on the left side, in the middle, you know, all throughout. But as far as the hardware goes, let's just jump into some hardware. So we got a bunch of Intel SSDs here. They're all M.2. I have 4 here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them all, but I just figured I'd throw them out here just so you guys can see them. They're the 512 versions. This board will support 3. So on the Rampage 6 motherboard, you can put one M.2 underneath the this little plastic cover, the RGB cover or whatever, because there's a bunch of RGB lights here. And then you got an RDIMM that goes in here that supports 2 more. So I'm pretty sure I'll end up populating all that. But then again, I may just use one. I don't know. So then I also have some Seagate storage here. I got 3 8TB enterprise NAS hard drives, so I'll be putting those in. And then for the motherboard and CPU, we got, like I said, the Rampage 6, and the CPU is the Intel i9-7900X, and I'll probably be using my Corsair Vengeance RGB RAM. And then we have 2 NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti's. So, and then for the fans, as far as cooling goes, we'll be using EK fans, the Vardar Evo fans, which are 2200 RPM. They're the newer fans from EK. We'll be using those on the radiator in the back. And then we also have some Corsair AC120 RGB fans that'll be up here in the front area. So that pretty much, I think, covers a lot of it. As far as power, I'll be using an AX1200i for power. And then Mainframe Customs was kind enough to create some cool custom cables. Obviously I'll probably need some SATAs and Molexes, but we'll get to that later. But this is like extra super long. So those are that. And then I already have the water box installed on the 1080 Ti. So we try to take it back to basics here. We wanted to show the measuring, the cutting, the taping off, drilling, all those kind of things like we used to do in the beginning of my channel instead of doing the montage videos like we've been doing. In this video and the next couple videos, hopefully you'll get to see some basic taping off, measuring to mark holes or cuts or whatever it might be. And you know, building this PC or going through building this PC, you know, I had all these grandiose ideas of how things were going to turn out or how things were going to lay out, as you can see in this video where I'm placing things and trying to figure out the loop, because I had no idea where anything was going to go in this build. You know, I knew I wanted to use the stainless steel reservoir. I'm going to use it as more of a filling spot instead of the actual reservoir, so it's more of a backup res, I guess you can say.
Yeah, it's tough to use this. Hi everybody, it's Dwight. It's tough to use this reservoir really in any sort of conventional way because there's no window. You can't actually see the level of it, so it's tough to really use it in any build. And you found a reason for it here, which is good.
Yeah, and it's nice and shiny.
It is. It's very shiny.
Yeah. So, and then the way the ports are laid out, it makes it a little complicated to use it as a traditional reservoir. Besides, not knowing how much liquid is in it. On top of that.
That's true.
So I end up using this to be able to fill the system. And here you see we're placing it up on the back wall on the right-hand side of the PC. The reason being for the placement is I wanted it to be above the pumps, as obviously for gravity, so the liquid will flow directly to the pumps. But I had to make sure that the measurement was correct. That's why I'm not eyeballing this, because otherwise I end up hitting the glass, you know, or it's too tall and the glass would be sitting on that reservoir, you know. So so that was kind of the idea here, to put this over here to kind of fill some of the space, because I through this whole entire, I think, last couple months I've been trying to figure out what to put in this desk, where, you know, I wanted it to be simple, clean, but at the same time not empty. Yeah,
functional. And
yeah, so, you know, my old desk had the 2 PCs in it, and this one is only going to have the 1 gaming PC. And the reason I'm going that route is honestly, the Red Harbinger desk was not very cooling optimized, in my opinion, because the minute you put a bunch of stuff in the middle of the desk, like reservoirs, it blocks a lot of the airflow. So having the PC on the right hand side in my old desk wasn't very good, because my RAID card constantly overheated, my drives were getting smoking hot, you know, so it just caused a big heat trap on that. And I think at some point I ended up switching some of the fans around so I could have a little air intake on that end as well, you know. But so this time I'm going more for an optimized gaming PC where I don't have to worry about anything but the gaming PC, so that the fans on the left hand side would be intake coming across the board and the graphics cards, and the far right side they'd be exhaust.
Yeah, that's actually something that people don't tend to realize with these Red Harbinger desks, is that you only have the 6 fans on the outsides, the 2 outsides. So to get airflow all the way across the whole PC, it can be difficult, especially if you have reservoirs like right now. You have these giant reservoirs in the middle of the desk, and those are like speed bumps, you know?
Yeah.
The airflow can't get through them.
And as you can see right here, I have no idea what we're gonna do with the reservoirs. I'm trying to figure out. I have this idea of putting them at a 45-degree angle and running them kind of like I did in Phil's desk. That's what I was thinking. Which was the
here. Red and black and orange? Or yellow?
Yellow, yeah. Yellow. I was thinking that I could just put them together and run them like in serial, so the liquid will fill them both and then exit. And I think at this point I'm just like dumbfounded that if it's going to work or not. You know, you have all these cool ideas of how things are going to turn out, and in the end, your first thought of how things were going to be doesn't always end up being that way.
You won't know that until you start placing things in the desk and actually figuring out the route of where everything's going.
Yeah. But I'm really happy the way it has turned out. So.
Yeah, but you guys will see more on the next episode.